It's Wednesday, December 23rd, and this is now on HNN.
We will be moving the vaccines through the system as quickly as we can.
Pfizer will supply the U.S. with an additional 100 million doses of the coronavirus vaccine.
This is one of the most cruelest jokes that is being played on Hawaii right now.
From delays to activation trouble, the city's grocery card program faces more woes.
This was number one on the list.
The crowds at the new Kilauea eruption have been a nice boost to the economy and a test of public health.
They were pre-packing his cookies this year. This year, letters to Santa aren't just asking for toys. I'm Danya Backus with a look at how the pandemic is affecting Christmas wish lists.
These stories plus, we'll have a little fun looking back at some of the most viral moments of 2020.
Wow.
That's coming up on This Is Now. Now we want to begin with this new video just into our newsroom. Hilo Medical Center's vaccination clinic has started to administer the vaccine to frontline COVID staff and other employees.
We received a couple of trays of the Pfizer vaccine. It's more than enough to do our employees, and we also plan to start opening it up to some of our healthcare providers in the community. We've been told, and we're in the pipeline to receive more next week.
Hey everyone, Ashley and Jonathan here. Thank you so much for watching This Is Now. Let's get you those latest coronavirus numbers. The state health department is reporting 107 new cases and 3 more COVID-related deaths. The breakdown by island shows the Big Island has 13 cases, Maui with 15, Oahu with 69, and 10 cases were diagnosed out of state. Today, we got an update from Governor Ige on a wide range of topics from furloughs to the state's vaccination efforts.
You know, we wanted to talk about this furlough situation, especially in lieu of Congress passing that COVID relief bill. We're waiting for the president to sign it. What does this mean? Because my understanding is that the first furlough day for teachers is coming up in about a week and a half. Will that happen?
You know, we are reviewing the contents of the bill, and we're encouraged. They are providing a lot of direct aid to the state. So, you know, we're going through the provisions and trying to understand what restrictions there might be to the funds that will come to the state. And if we do have sufficient funds, then we may be able to delay the furloughs into July.
At what point do you make that decision? We have thousands of families in Hawaii trying to plan for the new year. This is happening in a week and a half.
Absolutely, and we wish that there was additional aid provided by Congress earlier, but they just passed it this week. So, you know, we are reviewing it. Certainly, we're hopeful that the president signs the measure.
Let's move on to vaccines. This has been a really exciting time in watching so many people get vaccinated in the last week and a half. And I want to start off by asking you, because states are responsible for setting up the infrastructure and the schedule for people who are in a high-risk medical category or who are older, or even for the general public. What have you set up for them in order to get vaccinated?
So it's a couple of things, Grace. You know, the Department of Health is working and looking at CDC guidelines to determine the priority for those who would get vaccinated. As you know, older Americans and those with underlying conditions would be a high priority. Those residents in long-term care facilities and the staff are currently getting vaccinated as a priority. And so, you know, we will be moving the vaccines through the system as quickly as we can.
How do you plan to do that? How do you plan to vaccinate the general public? Are we looking at mass vaccination clinics, or perhaps something like you did with testing in the H3?
Yeah, so we are looking at a number of things. Yeah, Grace, if you can imagine, we have to vaccinate between 700 and 800,000 people in relatively short window. Libby Char is heading a vaccination planning group that is, you know, hundreds of people now, really working with the counties, because we know that through the surge testing, the counties were very instrumental in helping work through the logistics. You know, we're working with a lot of the professional organizations about how, for example, do we begin to offer vaccinations for those in the visitor industry? How do we reach teachers and public school employees? I mean, if you look at the large gatherings and groups of people, the large employers, we are working with all of them to coordinate and think about how we can get as many people vaccinated as quickly as we get the doses and be able to get them out to the public.
Is there anything that the public should be doing in order to make sure that they get onto this list to get the vaccine?
Well, clearly, everyone in the public will eventually get the opportunity to get vaccinated. Those in the priority areas, we are working with key organizations who can reach many of those in the priority areas to schedule distribution of the vaccine and then make sure that we have the employees who can administer them. CVS and Walgreens has a national contract to provide the vaccines, and we're working with them as well. So I think that you'll see a lot of different people and organizations who will be able to get the vaccines and administer it as we get more and more doses.
Pfizer and BioNTech will supply the U.S. with an additional 100 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine that's under a new agreement just announced today. The drug maker said they expect to deliver all the doses by July 31st of next year. The additional doses are on top of 100 million doses Pfizer already was under contract to supply to the government. Now remember, 2 doses are needed for the vaccine to be fully effective. The TSA says it screened nearly 1 million passengers yesterday. But get this, that's nearly 1 million fewer than the same day last year. Pete Montaigne has more on how holiday travel is going so far.
It's possible we could see another big bump in Wednesday air travel numbers, and health experts are worried that could lead to another big surge of the virus. The TSA says more than 1 million people passed through security at America's airports on Friday, on Saturday, and then again on Sunday. Nearly 1 million on Monday and Tuesday. It's that 3-day streak that's so interesting, though, something we have not seen before during the pandemic, not even around the Thanksgiving rush. We know that Thanksgiving led to a surge in the virus, and Dr. Anthony Fauci says these new travel numbers are concerning.
This type of travel is risky, particularly if people start congregating when they get to their destination in larger crowds in indoor settings. I'm afraid that if, in fact, we see this happen, we will have a surge that's superimposed upon the difficult situation we are already in. So it could be a very difficult January coming up if these things happen.
Now remember that these numbers are primarily people leaving for the holiday, but there's a concern that they could come back all at once. The TSA's record for the pandemic is still held by November 29th. That's the Sunday after Thanksgiving, when more than 1.1 million people flew. Pete Montaigne, CNN, Reagan National Airport.
Lieutenant Governor Josh Green wants to expand the state's travel program to let vaccinated travelers bypass the mandatory 10-day quarantine. Honolulu Civil Beat reports under the proposal, travelers would need proof on arrival that they received 2 doses of the vaccine. Unvaccinated travelers would still be able to skip the quarantine with a negative coronavirus test result in hand before flying to Hawaii. Green says he would like the change to go through in February. Governor Ige would need to approve it first, and he has not said whether he supports the proposal. Mayor Caldwell is apologizing for the city's troubled rollout of grocery debit cards. About 4,000 residents in need got them. First, there were delays. Now some can't activate the cards. Rick Desog reports.
Thank you for calling Mocafy. Para español, presione dos.
DeMont Connor says he spent nearly an hour on hold trying to activate his city grocery card to no avail.
There's no way for us to activate it. With other cards, you usually can go either online and activate it, or you activate it by phone. This is one of the most cruelest jokes that is being played on Hawaii right now in this time of Christmas season, holiday season.
Connor is one of many frustrated residents who recently received the $500 card but weren't able to activate it because of heavy call volume.
Please hold for the next available agent.
The program has already faced delays because the city is using an East Coast vendor to distribute and manage the card program. That company says its shipments were delayed because of the holiday season rush and winter storms. One Eva Beach resident says the city should have used a local bank.
It is frustrating because it's inconsistent and they're using a company that's in New Jersey.
We want to apologize to folks who are having trouble activating the card. We also want to apologize for the delay in the delivery of the card.
Because it's funded by CARES Act money, the city cards had to be used up by December 27th. But under the stimulus deal announced earlier this week, that deadline more than likely will be extended.
So it means these cards, which had to be used by the 27th of December, there will be more time to use them.
But with the veto threat against the stimulus bill from the president today, there is no guarantee of that happening in time for the city cards. Rick Daysog, Hawaii News Now.
There's an ongoing effort to build a casino on Hawaiian homelands in Kapolei, but Governor Ige says he's against it. This is what he had to say on Sunrise this morning.
I don't support gambling. I really don't believe that it's appropriate for our community. We need to look at other ways to generate revenues and income for the Hawaiian Homes program, but I don't support casino gambling. The cost to our community is high, and really it would be changing the nature of our hospitality industry here in the island.
State lawmakers could attempt to work around Ige's opposition and introduce a bill in January during the next legislative session. Yesterday, the casino plan passed its first hurdle when the Hawaiian Homes Commission voted 5-4 to ask the legislature for the right to build a gaming resort. As the new Kilauea eruption continues, nearby lodgings are filling up fast. The crowds are both a welcomed boost to the economy and a test of public health. Chelsea Davis has more.
Everybody's excited, and there was pictures being posted, and we immediately made a list of all the things we got to do, and this was number one on the list.
The U.S. Geological Survey released new video showing lava fountains cascading into a growing lava lake in Halema'uma'u crater. Many want to see it for themselves.
We're really close, but at night we can see like the glow and stuff.
Volcano Inn is just 2.5 miles down the road. The manager there says it's brought a much-needed boost in business.
The phones have been going off. Yeah, we used to only get like a couple calls a day, and I've been pretty much on the phone all day. We're almost at full capacity today.
We saw easily in the thousands, several thousand people came up, and a lot of people shoulder to shoulder trying to cram into a smaller area. And it can be a very dangerous situation. People not practicing social distancing.
Jessica Farrakane with Hawaii Volcanoes National Park says minimizing crowds right now means minimizing the risk of spreading the virus.
We are encouraging people, don't come during this peak hour of sunset through 10 o'clock. Try to get here 3 in the morning if you can set your alarm, or before sunrise.
Hawaii County Mayor Mitch Roth says the county has reached out to the park to offer help with crowd control, but was told by park officials they have it covered.
It really is a beautiful site, but again, we want you to use your common sense. We still are in the middle of a pandemic, and just, be careful. And if you're going to come, be respectful of others. Don't crowd together.
The national park is open 24 hours a day, but the Kilauea overlook has been completely full after 4 p.m. So park officials suggest other viewing areas like behind Volcano House, Waldron Ledge, and Old Crater Rim Drive. Chelsea Davis, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Chelsea. Well, the USGS just sent out on Twitter an update. I'm going to pull it up right here, and look at that new photo we're getting in. It is gorgeous, taken overnight. Now, the update, using some really clever emoji use here for Twitter, go USGS, says the lava lake depth is now 515 feet. Think this wasn't even there Sunday morning. And now that has risen 75 feet in 24 hours. Think about this. An average story of a building is around like 10 or 12 feet. So 75 in 24 hours, that's insane.
Incredible.
2 vents are still going pretty strong there. The eastern one stronger than the western one. Cool stuff, right, Ash?
Yeah, and no sign of stopping.
Yeah, I gotta get over there. But like they said in Chelsea's package, be cautious, use social distancing.
Absolutely.
Yep, we're gonna take you outside now to this gorgeous shot of Diamond Head. Look at that, I'd go there as well. Here is Guy Hoggy. He's back with a check of your holiday weather.
How's it on this Wednesday? We have another storm system pushing away the trade winds today. Most of the moisture will stay up to the north. We won't see a whole lot of rain today. If anything, maybe a few afternoon clouds that could produce a few afternoon showers. Otherwise, it's going to be a mostly dry day with a few isolated showers, although we are expecting increasing showers by tomorrow night for Christmas Day and the day after that as well. Now, the surf will be rising. High surf advisories posted for north and west shores. We could even see a high surf advisory posted for south shores. There's a rising swell due into south shores by tonight. So by tonight, it's going to be big, dangerous out there, 15 to 20 on the north shore, getting close to warning levels by tomorrow. And the weather's going to change as well. Variable winds with a few afternoon clouds, but basically dry conditions. And that's going to continue through tomorrow with trade winds slowly filling in tomorrow. Now, increasing showers due Thursday night through Saturday, mostly favoring those windward and Mauka areas, and those strengthening trade winds, especially breezy on Christmas Day and the day after that. Lighter winds due back on Monday. Keep it here on Hawaii News Now. We'll have all your severe weather updates.
Even in this dark year, there really were some bright spots. CNN's Jeannie Mose takes a look back at some of 2020's most viral moments.
2020 was a roller coaster year, and a roller coaster with more downs than ups. At Belmont Park near San Diego, the passengers were stuffed animals to lighten the mood during maintenance runs, since no humans were allowed due to COVID.
3, 2, 1.
The pandemic inspired ingenuity, be it the useless but satisfying mask launcher.
Oh my God!
Or the plastic hug time.
Oh, I love you.
That allowed a great-grandmother to hug her grandkids, featuring gloves normally used for examining the nether regions of livestock. Hormel tried to bring home the bacon with this marketing ploy, a mask with a scent of bacon. It was a year when weathermen and reporters got nabbed.
If it is successful, guys.
Very cool. Caught with their pants off, working from home. And a soap opera actor had to make out with a mannequin. The lack of play dates during the pandemic made for strange bedfellows. 2-year-old Theo Brady became inseparable from his bony buddy Benny, but Mom said after Halloween,
"We're gonna try to put him away."
Yeah, well, Benny's still there, though he did break in too. Fortunately, 6-month-old Rich Humphreys is intact after making news as one of the world's youngest water skiers. And magician David Blaine reached new heights.
Wow.
Suspended from 52 helium balloons at an altitude almost 5 miles up. He released, parachuting to Earth on a perfect touchdown. More of a fumble was this botched art restoration in Spain dubbed
Potato Head of Valencia.
It's Mr. Potato Head. Animals were a scream in 2020. Chico the parrot at a zoo in England parroted Beyonce's hit. And if I were CNN's Joe Johns, I too may have tossed a step stool. After raccoons invaded the White House lawn, and despite traps, twice tried to join Joe for live shots, once even grabbing at his trouser leg.
Frickin' raccoons, man.
And there was the fly
Insult.
that invaded Vice President Pence's hair for 2 minutes during a debate. Pizza Groundhog hogged a slice in Philadelphia, while Pizza Rat Man entertained folks in New York. But what's more entertaining than a blooper?
Name Popeye's favorite food.
Chicken! Yves Dubois may have blown the answer.
Spinach, Sherry.
But the fast food chain Popeyes gave her a $10,000 check because they said they thought her answer was right. It was our favorite game show blunder of 2020. A year when we could all have used a spinach pick-me-up. Jeannie Mose, CNN. Chicken! New York.
chicken. So good. So many good moments, really, looking back. I really enjoyed that.
I love the internet.
I know, right? Good. And that skeleton buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so cute.
So sweet.
So cute. A little too much information, Jonathan knowledge. You know, when I was a kid, I actually had pet raccoons. So I could have handled that White House.
Trash pandas. No, thank
they're
you.
adorable.
Oh, no.
They're adorable. All right. You know what? I'm not getting you for Christmas. Okay.
Yeah.
But maybe this. There's some new hot sauce out there, and guess who from? This is really unusual. The band The Killers. Remember them?
Huh.
Yeah, that song Mr. Brightside. One is named after the album Hot Fuss. The other Fire and Bone, Caution, and Blowback. All references to Killers things. You can order them online for sort of a pricey bundle price of $59.50. But the band says they've been wanting to do this for years. They even joke saying that the whole reason they had the band is to come up with this hot sauce. They advise to sort of match them up with your favorite Killer album.
But no Mr. Brightside hot
Yeah.
sauce.
Yeah, why didn't...
That's unusual.
Yeah, that would have been an easy name.
So this was really interesting. So Tesla CEO Elon Musk says at one point he tried to sell his company to Apple. So Musk tweeted that he reached out to Apple CEO Tim Cook during the early days of the Model 3 program, but he says Cook refused to take the meeting. Apple did not immediately respond for comment. The claim comes after a report that Apple is planning to introduce a new mass market battery technology, and we told you about the EV cars yesterday.
That could be a big whoopsie.
Yeah, that's like a Pretty Woman moment, right?
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Huge.
Yep.
Huge.
And now to some good news. So Christmas wish lists this year look a little different. Instead of wondering if they've been naughty or nice, sweet children all around the world are writing about the pain of the pandemic in their letters. Here's Danya Bacchus with the story.
Outside of the Ugly Muck Coffee House in Burbank, California, there's a big red mailbox just for letters to Santa.
I asked Santa for an LOL surprise, Bigwig, and Ma'am Queen.
More than 400 notes have been dropped here. And while there are traditional asks for toys and games,
I want a My Little Pony adventure.
The letters also reflect the reality of this year. Emily Nalbantian owns the Ugly Mug.
And they've requested Santa to be safe. And they reminded him to wear his mask and gloves. And they also said that they were pre-packing his cookies this year to keep him extra safe.
We did get a lot of letters this year.
The United States Postal Service received more than 24,000 letters to the North Pole through its Operation Santa program. Kim Frum says the program usually sees an uptick in letters during times of crisis. 2020 was no different. Letters like this one from Jonah.
Dear Santa, I don't want anything for Christmas.
Request a Christmas miracle.
Can you please find a cure for COVID-19 and give it to us to save the world?
And this one from Imogen.
Santa, I hope you, Mrs. Claus, and the elves, the reindeer, are safe from the virus.
Wants Santa and his crew to stay COVID-free. But no matter the request, the spirit of Christmas remains.
They're very selfless children out there, and that's wonderful to see as well.
And the tradition of writing letters to Santa is a reminder of the magic of the holiday season. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Burbank, California.
Well, that was pretty adorable there,
know.
right? The spirit of the season, what it's all about, even if you're at the mall,
Yikes.
like I was yesterday, and here's my snapshot. It was getting pretty busy out there. While most people did have their mask on and there was lines with social distancing efforts, it was getting a little busy and a little warm yesterday shopping because some of the stores didn't have air conditioning.
Oh, no.
So, but I got all my shopping done, so happy about that.
Good for you.
Yep. That's going to do it for This Is Now. We'll be back tomorrow. At least I will be. Someone's got the day off.
See you later. Merry
Lucky
Christmas. Happy holidays.
But you still have one more show. So, ha 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 ha. See you at 4. You guys have a safe one.